bam! So I'm actually sitting down. I'm not on my crappy iPad, and I thought I would go over a lot of the questions and answers. Now, I just did a Periscope, and I was like, well, shite, I should just show the Periscope, and then also add in a couple more of the questions that people asked, because it was quite a long one. It was probably like just about an hour of a live broadcast. A lot of you guys ask awesome questions. Sometimes they're the same types of questions, like how long does it take for you to keto adapt, and how can I get my blood glucose down, and can I fast on keto, and questions of this nature. And so what I've been doing a lot is I've been talking a lot about organic acid testing and finding out what's coming out, of your urine, what's going on within your saliva, like cortisol, and also a fecal test to see if you've got any parasites or candida overgrowth. But organic acid testing is really good because you can check for all different types of markers that a conventional doctor wouldn't be able to find with just a standard blood test. So things as simple as, why can't I get my blood glucose down? I was explaining this in the live broadcast on Periscope, that there are several reasons why you cannot get your blood glucose down. So one of the things is the gut wildlife, and so I was listening to another podcast, and a guy had phrased it so well. He said, weeds, clearing out of the weeds before seeds, for example. And so what he means by that is you got to figure out get the weeds out of your gut, like the junk, like the bad bacteria, the imbalance of bacteria, before you can plant seeds of good bacteria. Because if you plant seeds with probiotics too soon in the kombucha and the kimchi and the sauerkraut and the pills and blah, you can actually make your weeds grow even more and screw up your gut. Another question that people tend to not really ask directly, but around it is, why can't I get my blood glucose high? How long is it going to take me to keto adapt? Can I gain a lot of muscle? And so I started researching even more about leaky gut and about how most of us have some type of reaction, or we might have something to do with our gap junctions in our gut lining, that holes are created, big particles of food into the bloodstream, and you start to develop histamine issues. So like you were fine with one food one day, and now you're not with a food another day. And it kind of can account for thyroid issues, all kinds of issues. You think you're normal, you have leaky gut, you have no idea, and you're not adapting as quickly, you're not getting the strength gains that you were hoping for. So I'm going to show a little bit of my Periscope. I really want more people to get involved with Periscope. I find it more interesting than the YouTube videos because I can talk live to you. Like right now, I'm talking real spastic, trying to get to the Periscope. I'm working all my social media at once. I'm sort of distracted. Can't stand social media, but I see the benefit of it. So here we go. Here we go. So let's check this out. So, of course, there's like gnarly reflections on my screen, and I don't want to be in the reflection.
So it makes it hard to keep off the weight. Insulin, yes, insulin is a hormone that's the reason why people go on keto, right? Because they have low insulin, and insulin is a storage hormone, so it makes things grow, muscles and fat cells. That's the problem, and that's why we test glucose first before we start testing ketones. Everybody's so obsessed with the ketones and the stupid ketone strips and the breathalyzers, and it really kind of doesn't matter, because if your insulin's high, you're not going to lose weight. And that's what I try to tell the prove it people, but they don't listen. Morning keto guru. Okay, so I've been trying to then why am I doing? You don't need. Okay, first of all, we will always have insulin spikes periodically because of our adrenal glands. You don't need to eat food to have that happen, right? We're always going to produce glucose for our red blood cells, so that is not true that you have to eat dietary. Your glucose to be in ketosis should be either 4.4 millimolar for the rest of your planet and or 80 milligrams per deciliter. They are frustrating. They really don't like me. They actually came to me first. They wanted me to be a consultant, and I had just been testing so many people, and I realized at that juncture that if you...
Okay guys, so basically I just want to show people how Periscope works. Seems like a lot of people haven't found out this new social media platform. it's kind of like I will start actually doing Q&As and seminars, webinars, and all that kind of stuff. But I think I need to really learn how to speak live to people. So Periscope is enabling me to be able to communicate live with people from all over the world. And basically, I'm just showing you what it is. I have a lot of followers. They seem to constantly do like YouTube comments or Facebook inbox messages a lot. But here I'm kind of able to answer questions from, I think there was 144 people on this broadcast, and a percentage of them are asking the questions, but everybody's kind of listening to me answer. So I might actually have a question that they are thinking of, but somebody else asked the question. So you kind of just learning through me and through other people, and also people make statements as well. So this is my Periscope. I'm talking about exogenous ketones, which means outside the body, which do not work to get you into a highly keto adapted state, and they're too expensive. But that doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is to show you the Periscope. And if I go further into it, you can kind of see more where people go.
Of water just kind of stays in the cells, and when you drop your carbohydrates, then the cells drop the water. Your kidneys drop the water really fast, and all of a sudden, all that fluid in your pipage is gone. So you get locked up, and so people freak out. They become constipated in the beginning, but after a while, your kidneys learn how to rebalance, and then you become unblocked up. But of course, you have to eat enough fat. Now, back to the questions. Yeah, that happened to you, and it should go away. But the title of the Periscope was actually things that you're worried about, like, is it dangerous? Oh, from Tennessee? I just was there couple days ago. It depends what your liver enzymes are elevated, what type of stevia, by the way. Most people on, that Don's Effect person. Okay, I'll take the cream thing later, how you get your glucose down first. Before you guys ask any more questions, hold on. Don's Effect, first of all, and then how to get your glucose down, and then the cheese thing. Okay, so Don's Effect, early morning Don's Effect is typically an effect of really high glucose spiked or insulin or A1C or fasted glucose for those who are typically insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, diabetic, typical. And their numbers are insane, right? They have numbers like in the 6 point somethings or 7 point for millimolars for the rest of the world. And then U.S. people will have numbers from 110 milligrams per deciliter up to about 200, 300 if they're really diabetic. And that's the reason why I preach about getting proper sleep at night, because that's where your body learns how to repair. And so every time I explain this to people, they kind of listen a little bit, and then the rest, they don't listen to me. And I'm explaining that, you've got to go to bed by this time, and no. You're talking about early morning Don's Effect, right? So if you're talking about the Don's Effect, that's high glucose. That's all that means. If you have any type of pain, that's from the effects of too high sugars, which I don't even know what your fasted AM sugar numbers are.
Okay, so to not go on and show the broadcast, it's better to just go to my Periscope, which is Steph the Business. So it's, is it that? Yeah, it's, I gotta check, because I made a second account and didn't realize it wasn't catching the videos or saving them. So I connected my existing Periscope name to my Twitter, which is Steph the Business. And in this way, people can see that when I do my videos from my apartment, yes, which is my photography, yes, that I'm not like getting all my information from Googling on the internet, that I'm actually getting it from you guys. I've learned a lot from upwards towards 1,000 people of coaching, and so they tend to have the early morning Don's Effect. For example, a lot of people have this effect where their blood glucose is too high. Why? They've been fasting, they're eating a ketogenic diet, and their fasted glucose is still almost towards diabetic or insulin resistant ranges. And this is what this person in particular was asking about. So Periscope is such a great platform to be able to answer that question while maybe 50 other people were kind of thinking like, oh, that's happening to me as well. I'm still spastic from that Periscope. When you have so many people ask you at once, you can see like on the corner of the screen, the boxes stack up. So you could have like 6 people ask a question at a time, and they're quite complex questions. So go to Periscope. This is the best way to really test my bro science. I love it. Where to get your information from? It's so funny. Like, doctors are like gods, right? They have the answer. I had my friend yesterday in the gym. He's got adrenal dysfunction, stage 3. He's so worried because he crashes after every meal, which means he cannot regulate his blood glucose. And if he tried to keto adapt, it would be a hot mess. He's probably not absorbing his Bs because his adrenals are so overworked, and probably his Ds. Probably all started from leaky gut, which is what I spoke about in the Periscope. So if you become malabsorptive, then you're not absorbing anything, the adrenals misfire, and he crashes post-meals, which is a sign of too much insulin or too high glucose. And I was explaining to him what he had to consider, and he's like, I need to go to a doctor because his testosterone, he's like, I can't get a woody, so I knew that, of course, his testosterone is quite low. I was trying to explain to him what he needed to do to repair his body, but he wasn't listening. He's like, I'm going to go talk to a doctor. And I said, okay, you're going to go to a general practitioner. They'll have no, especially the older ones, they'll have mostly no education. Well, they aren't really taught. I think they get a day of nutrition. Most of them are not well versed in going down the rabbit hole and actually finding the initial problem. Now, some are rock star that do, but many don't. And so they tend to go, well, this looks like you have these symptoms. Let's check your blood values and then prescribe medication. So blood values can be very subjective because we don't actually know what's going on in the cells. And that's why organic acid testing is so awesome, because it gives you alternatives to what's going on with your body. And so, yes, someone like him is a really good example of me really trying to understand what's going on, because I had another friend at the gym who would want to vomit after his workout, and so I went and I researched that, and it makes perfect sense because his workouts are like these crazy CrossFit workouts, and he's not eating enough food, and his glycogen storages are too low, and so his body has to get through the workout, so it dumps adrenaline into the bloodstream, and that quick dumpage is what brings on the nausea, right? And then cortisol is coupled with that. And so, of course, I tried to tell him too, and that probably didn't go far. But for those who really are interested in what I have to say with my bro science, I hate you. I love you. It's so funny being on the internet. But if you want to learn more, go to stephanieperson.com. I do consultations or my Facebook, which is really great because I get conversations going where people can go back and forth. And that's my social media pinging all these weird sounds. Or you could go to my Instagram, or you go to Stephanie the Business. No, it's Steph. There's no Stephanie. It's Steph the Biz with Bizness on Periscope. God, I'm talking too fast. Stop, Steph. Download the app and ask me questions live. That's really, really awesome. And the competition for Jimmy Moore's new co-host is still going on. So it started January 1st. It goes to the 5th, January 5th, 2016. For those who catch my videos with some 3-year-old videos, it's 2016. And you would go to lowcarbconversations.com, and it's just 3 buttons. You just click on Stephanie, and then that would put me in so I can start kind of digging deep with these PhDs. One person was asking a lot of questions about LDL, total cholesterol, and these are great questions for me to actually ask the PhD doctors that specify in those areas on his podcast show, and then connected to the everyday life of people that are beyond blood values. So to kind of tie all those things together, plus to rock the boat and be a little fun. So go to lowcarbconversations.com in the next couple days to vote for me to be Jay Moore's new co-host. And people going like, oh, you guys say different things about keto, and I think that's the beauty of it. You're going to get different perspectives, because we all know that I'm quoted as being the strict one, but somebody else said I'm actually the normal one, and everybody else is kind of like, whatever. But yes, I thought I would just do this semi-quick. 14 minutes? That's not quick. Crap, how did this end up being 14 minutes? Damn! Peace, guys.